The CSS height width properties are used to set the height and width of an element, and the CSS max width property is used to set maximum width of an element. Hello everyone, welcome back to iFarouq Tech channel. This is the 25th episode in the series Learn CSS from Scratch. In last tutorial we talked about CSS padding, where we know how padding works, what makes it works, and how to use it in our daily projects. We also saw the exercise I left to you at the end of our 23rd episode of this series. If you missed that, you can check the both content 23rd and 24th episode in the channel's videos or the link in the description down below. And today we are going to expand our knowledge on height and width, where we are going to learn more about height and width, how they are working, and how to use them perfectly as well. Let's get started. Setting height and width. The height and width properties are used to set the height and width of an element. The height and width properties do not include padding, borders, or margins. It sets the height width of the area inside the padding, border, and margin of an element. CSS height and width values. The height and width values properties may have the following values: auto, length, percentage sign, initial, and inherit. Let's take first example to set height and width div element. Open a header 2 tag. Set the height and width of an element. Div tag. This div element has a height of 200 pixels and width of 50%. A div here, height of 200 pixels, width 50%, background color powder blue. So we are done here. You save your work, open it in your browser. Here we are. You can see this is our div element example with height of 200 pixels and a width of 50%. And the height of div element is obvious 200 pixels, while width of the div element is half of the total width of browser window. But let's take another example with different values to see how it's going to be. If we say to change this width to 500 pixels and height to 100 pixels, you will see how it's going to change. Obviously, you can see it, right? The height decreased as well as width of an element decreased from 50% to 500 pixels, while our height from 200 pixels to 100 pixels. The difference is obvious, you can see it. So that's how you can set your height or width of an element in CSS easily, but not. Remember that the height and width properties do not include padding, borders, or margins. They set height, width of the area inside the padding, border, and margin of an element. Setting max width. The max width property is used to set maximum width of an element. The max width can be specified in the length values like pixels, centimeter, etc., or in percentage sign of the containing block, or set to none. This is default, means that there is no maximum width. The problem with the div above occurs when the browser window is smaller than the width of an element, that's 500 pixels. The browser then adds a horizontal scroller to the page. Using max width instead will improve the browser's handling of small windows. Tip: drag the browser window to smaller than 500 pixels wide to see the difference between the two divs. Note: if you for some reason use both the width properties and max property on the same element, the value of the width property is larger than maximum width property, the max width property will be used and the width property will be ignored. In this situation, I will use both the width properties and the max width property to differentiate between the two, then bring up the solution. So let's take this example and work it out and see how it's going to be. Let's change this to width properties and max width properties, and here resize the browser window to see the effect. Let's save. Okay, I'll refresh our browser. Here we are. If we resize our browser windows, you see we resize our browser windows to less than 500 pixels. You see, instead of the element to suit with the Windows browser size, but it couldn't. It creates its own size. You see, it creates scroller down below here. So how can we fix this? We can fix this using max width. Let's create another div element here and give them a class attribute with a value div1, div2. And then style it with max width property. Save your work here and when to refresh your page. Sorry. You can see it here. If we reset our browser, you will see the difference. Let's give it a break here. You see, this is our div element without max width, while this is our div element with max width. You see, this max width controls the size of our div element, which makes it suit with our browser window size, while this one couldn't take the control. It override. If we comment it here, you see how awesome it works. You can see it suits with the browser, and if we open it larger, it will also work. So that's how actually the max width property works on our div element or any element in HTML. So before we round up today as well, I will leave some exercises that will help you understand this concept more. The exercises are: I want you to write a code that will set, first, to set the height and width of an element; second, to set the height and width of an image using %sign; third, to set mean width and max width of an element; the last exercise, to set mean height and max height of an element. Please try to work these exercises. Let me know what you couldn't understand about it or else to solve in the comment section down below. I will be always glad to assist you. So that's all for today's tutorial. In our next tutorial, we are going to talk about CSS box model. I hope you enjoy my today's tutorial and find it useful, and if that's so, share it with me by giving me a thumbs up, leave a comment and share it with your friends. And if this is your first time to visit my channel and haven't subscribed yet, make sure you click the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell for you to be notified on every upcoming tutorial. Thanks for watching, goodbye and take care.